Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we have some news to share, and it's obvious news that the Tanzanian President Hassan, has won re-election. She is an interesting figure because she is one of probably the only female dictators. And I wouldn't say the only female dictators, but definitely one of the only female dictators existing in our present world. In our present world, female dictatorships are becoming more common, and President Hassan, who has taken power after the death in 2021 of the former president, President John Magufuli, that's how you pronounce it, after he passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. She came to power, and in a series of events, Samia Suluhu Hassan has extended her power just to include only herself on the ballot, with barely no opposition. As you can see, she has won re-election with 97.95% of the popular vote, with 7.20% of the vote being counted. This is absolutely of no surprise. You do have an opposition leader who fought his way to get on the ballot with only 10,000 votes, but that 10,000, we knew it wasn't really going to do any good. Whether you think the election results are rigged or somewhat, we all knew from the very beginning that Hassan was going to get reelected. There was absolutely no reason why she wouldn't. Besides, I don't think there were any polls conducted because originally she was the only one on the ballot until recent electoral violence clashes resulted to some leeway be giving in. Regardless, Hassan has increased her authoritarianism in order to crush these opposition protests and efforts to dismantle the opposition. And we knew the protests, the violence, and the riots, they wouldn't have done any good. Hassan would have won re-election regardless, it looks like. And she has, as you can clearly see here, 97.95% of the popular vote. She comes from the left-wing Chama Cha Mapinduzi party, which used to be a pretty left-wing political party, but now it's more center-left. Background, it used to have connections to African socialism, along with Pan-Africanism. Tanzania is a country where socialism is in the country's constitution. So really, this is pretty much the sole ruling party of the country. You can see the president, former President Magufuli, or just, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, and I don't care. He won 84.40%. And odds are if Hassan, maybe backlash against her and her regime is just too big, that maybe she would get like 60% and she can't just stomach that. That's probably why she fought so hard to be the sole dominant contender in this said election. But you could see, Magufuli won re-election handedly, 84.40%. And I think that would have been the same case that time around. He was getting a bit more popular also, 58.46% in 2015. And the opposition party was a center-right political party. So is this country so conservative as it may seem? Then keep in mind, Africa is more right-wing socially, okay? Now, more socially than it is left-wing socially. I would suggest South Africa as an example of a country that is left-wing socially, okay? They're a country that really echoes racial equality because they went through the apartheid, okay? Their political party and their government is post-apartheid. But Tanzania has always been a country that generally believes in like tribal supremacy, along with the of course the idea, they think same-sex marriage is banned in Tanzania. You will not get around being gay or homosexual in Tanzania. Abortion is also banned in Tanzania. It's not like Europe at all, and I would say left-wing fiscally for sure left-wing fiscally. The whole economic-wise, the labor union, the working people, that's kind of always been their motto. That's always been their logic. And in their minds, to the average Tanzanian, they're like, oh, no, we're not right-wing socially, we're left-wing socially. And I expect there to be a lot of Tanzanian or African people coming from Africa, commenting in the video, saying, oh, no, you're wrong, you don't understand Tanzania, you don't understand Africa, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, no, coming from our interpretation, the United States interpretation, and using our Americanized political system, Africa is very right-wing socially, period. Very right-wing socially, okay? This is not using your system. We know that you are very left-wing, so very socialist leaning in Tanzania and all of Africa. We know that in your metric system. But in our metric system, it's a little different. We apply social issues, and it says that you lean very to the right on a lot of social issues. And I know it's all cultural issues. It's very culturally inappropriate to be in a same-sex relationship in Africa, all of Africa, except for South Africa. They kind of adopted that. But all of Africa is very inappropriate. And abortion is also taboo in a lot of these countries. But Tanzania is a country where, ever since the end of the Cold War, the country used to be very left. Very far to the left, but maybe you could say for sure it's more implied with African nationalism and social democracy, and it used to have that African socialism and the ideology following Ujamaa, who is let's see here, first time I ever heard of this guy, but yes, this is basically, I would imagine, a left-wing figurehead in Tanzania. He is obviously a major figure, obviously. This is Julius Nyerere, and he is the founder of the Ujamaa ideology. And obviously, this ideology is around anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, African dominance, stuff like that. And you could say that's left-wing socially. Yeah, to a point. I'm not saying every single African country is right-wing socially. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, yeah, definitely the anti-imperialist part is definitely socially left-wing. And Tanzania definitely has that. They are very hawkish on imperialism. So no doubt at all that they have strong feelings still towards that. But obviously, when it comes to cultural issues, they are obviously very far right to those cultural issues, which I honestly respect. I mean, Africa is leading the way for traditional culture, and they're defending their culture from these woke crusaders. So I honestly give kudos to the Africans for defending their culture from the woke revolutionaries. And yes, Samia Suluhu Hassan is reelected. We said that already. There's nothing really much to say other than we can add Tanzania to the left-wing map. We knew that was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen because there's no one facing her. Number one, we knew. And even if this guy who comes from the Chama Chai Ukombozi wa Umma, these different wording here, no real political position explained, but that is Swahili for People's Redemption Party. And hey, I'm not going to look up through Google if this is left-wing, right-wing. I mean, to be honest, I can care less. They lost big. I mean, I think it's a win enough for them that this party actually got on the ballot. I think this party needs to embrace and celebrate that all the other political parties didn't have a chance except for this party to actually get on the ballot. It doesn't matter if they got 0.66%, which we knew this was going to happen. This lady is notorious for her authoritarianism. She's the top authoritarian in Tanzania, and it's a woman. Just saying, it's a woman. You don't see that. There's a lady in Bangladesh who's also an authoritarian dictator. She's been there for a long time. I should know her name, but I'm not going to make this video about Bangladesh. But I'm just bringing this up. Yeah, I mean, in the modern day, you're seeing a lot of more female dictators, more female leaders. Obviously, female leaders have existed since the 20th century, but now you're seeing female dictators, which show how much society has progressed, especially in a country like Tanzania, which values its traditional culture, its cultural values. And a lot of Tanzania, the roles of women are very different. The roles of women in Africa are very different. Women usually don't participate in politics. Now it's taking a big trend into that direction. Women are now participating in politics in Africa. But if I'm not mistaken, Samia Suluhu Hassan, she's not the first African female president, okay? She's not the first female president. I want to believe that lady was from Liberia, who's the first African president, but she's the very first Tanzanian president. So ever since the 90s, early 2000s, we're seeing more female leaders of Africa, but they're not common, okay? They're not common at all. And if I'm not mistaken also, she might be the only female leader in all of Africa. Obviously, there is just calling it out for what it is. There's a role of respect. I mean, that I think, that again, part of the reason why Hassan is coming out as dominant is that, she knows that she is obviously a woman leader in a continent that doesn't really, customly like that. It's their culture. I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, I have no reason to be mad about it, but I'm just saying, understanding this is probably why she's coming out, as she has to try extra hard to play the role of a leader. Because half of the continent, half of the country doesn't see her as one. This is just, I'm calling out the balls and strikes at this one. But this is Africa. We know this is their culture, and I respect it 100%. And in fact, I applaud them for their cultural values. I applaud them for sticking with their cultural values. I applaud them for not being like South Africa, which is a chicken country that just wants to be kissy with the Western world. But yes, I applaud them, and I respect them 100%, and I hope and I pray. I mean, our relations are meh. I mean, we've had a hard time with Tanzania. It's a country that we weren't really friendly with. They're not our allies, for sure, but they're not our enemies. They're not our adversaries. We work with them. They're our partners. But I would like to see a friendship with the Tanzanians. I think we all wish to see a friendship with the Tanzanians, and hopefully we will get one. But I think, the relationship during the Cold War was mostly negative. We weren't adversaries with them, but it was negative because they were socialists, okay? And we're just struggling for a very long time now to actually get that relationship back up, to actually get that relationship started again. It's kind of awkward, and it's kind of difficult. So I'm hoping we can get this relationship going. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.